My ex-wife used our kids as alibi for her affair partner for years, but after divorce, the judge gave me full parental rights. Be me, 37 years old, living in Portland with wife Alice, and our two daughters, Sophie and Lucy. Life seemed perfect until it wasn't. First time I noticed something was wrong. Wasn't because of Alice's phone habits. Wasn't because of her late nights either. It started with our daughters. Two little girls who used to tell me everything suddenly had secrets. Notice it one Sunday morning. Overhear them whispering in their bedroom. Their voices hushed like they're protecting something precious. My girls who could never keep quiet about anything, now making sure I don't hear a word. Walk into their room. They snap their heads toward me, eyes wide like deer in headlights. Complete silence falls instantly. Laugh it off at first. Think maybe they're planning a surprise or something innocent. That was my first mistake. Dismissing the little things. Few days later, Alice comes back from her spinning class. Been going religiously for weeks. Suddenly obsessed with finding her balance, or whatever she calls it. That evening though, something's off. Her hair is perfectly styled, makeup flawless, wearing a new dress. Not exactly what you'd expect after an intense workout. Girls are acting weird too, giggling with each other, sharing looks like they know something I don't. Keep glancing at their mother. Don't say anything that night. Try to ignore the nagging feeling in my gut. Let it slide. Alice doesn't come to bed, says she has work to finish. That's when I hear her voice, faint but clear, coming from the living room. Creep down the stairs, half curious, half suspicious. What I see shakes me to my core. Alice is on the phone, talking low and sweet. Voice makes my blood run cold. Not talking to her sister, not her mom, not any of her usual friends. She's talking to him. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. No, the girls are coming with me this time. They love you. My heart pounds so loud, sure she can hear it. Freeze on the staircase, standing in the shadows, as she casually talks about our daughters. She's taking them to see some man, her lover. And they know, our daughters know, feel something break inside me. This isn't just betrayal. This is a whole different level of deception. The woman I trusted, the mother of my children, not only sneaking around behind my back, but bringing our girls into it, like it's some normal family outing. Don't confront her that night. Can't, just frozen, trying to make sense of what I heard. Mind racing, everything in our marriage starting to unravel, like a thread being pulled from a sweater. How long had this been going on? How could she do this to them? To us? Go back upstairs, lie down, stare at the ceiling, waiting for the weight of it all to crush me. But something else rises instead. An icy, calculated calm. This isn't just about Alice's lies anymore. This is something darker, not about to sit by and let her twist our kids into it. That night, I decide to play her game. But I'm going to win. Next morning, everything feels surreal. Alice is in the kitchen, smiling like nothing happened, pouring cereal for the girls. Sophie and Lucy sitting there, laughing and chatting, not a care in the world. Watching them feels like seeing my life through a distorted lens. The woman I married standing right in front of me, but I don't know her at all anymore. Worse than that, don't know what kind of secrets she's shared with our daughters. Play along, smile, kiss Alice on the cheek, go through the motions. But inside I'm boiling, every word measured, every movement controlled, like I'm an actor playing a part. It's hard, so hard not to let the rage spill out, but can't afford to tip her off. Not yet. Need more. Alice tells me she's taking girls to some children's art class. Nod like I believe her, but already know what's really happening. My wife isn't going to any art class. She's taking my daughters to see him. That's the part that kills me the most. She's dragging them into her mess, making them complicit. They're too young to understand what's happening. Being groomed to accept her lies as normal. After they leave, sit at the kitchen table, stare at untouched coffee in front of me. Have to know who this man is. Have to see him for myself, face to face. My hands are shaking, but never felt so clear-headed before. Open Alice's laptop. Hope to find something, anything that would lead me to him. Know how that sounds. Snooping through her stuff like a paranoid maniac. But at this point, all trust is shattered. Privacy, respect, she'd already blown that apart. Doesn't take long to find what I'm looking for. She isn't as careful as she thinks. Buried in her email, reservations for a lunch date with tea. Some fancy place about an hour outside of town. In one of those pretentious vineyard restaurants. He even sent her a message the night before, confirming the time. Can't wait to see you and the girls. They're so sweet. I've missed them. Almost throw up. This isn't just a fling. This guy has been around long enough to know my daughters. He's comfortable with them. And the girls, they like him. The thought of another man sitting across from them, smiling, acting like he's part of our family, makes me sick to my core, not about to sit at home. While my wife parades my daughters in front of her lover, like some twisted family reunion, grab my keys, jump in the car, start driving, know where they're going to be, know what I have to do. The restaurant is in one of those small scenic towns where people go to pretend life is perfect. Couples strolling hand in hand, families sharing ice cream on the sidewalk. And there, at the far end of the outdoor patio, I see them, Alice laughing, carefree, her hand resting on the arm of a man. Never seen him before in my life. He looks about my age, maybe a little younger, clean-cut, well-dressed, the kind of guy who probably thinks he can do no wrong. Sophie and Lucy on either side of him, chatting like they've known him for years. He's smiling, offering them bites of dessert, like he's their dad. My pulse pounds in my ears. Park the car, walk up slowly, force myself to breathe. To keep it together, every step feels like a lifetime. My vision tunneling on that table, on them, completely unaware their world is about to implode. Stop right in front of them, cast a shadow over their perfect little scene. Alice's eyes widen as she looks up, color draining from her face. She doesn't even have time to speak. Before I ask, voice calm but ice cold. Who the hell is he? The girls go quiet, their happy chatter turning to confused silence. The man shifts uncomfortably in his seat, clearly not expecting me to show up. Alice opens her mouth to say something, but no words come out. Not about to make this easy for her. Don't worry, girls, I say. Turn to Sophie and Lucy. I just need to have a quick chat with Mommy and her friend here. Why don't you go play inside for a bit? They hesitate, looking between me and Alice, eventually slide off their chairs, disappear inside the restaurant, still confused but obedient. Once they're out of sight, turn back to Alice and her mystery man. So, I say, voice low, barely controlled. You want to explain this or should I? The man stands up, trying to act calm, like this isn't a big deal. I think we should all just sit down and talk. I don't give a damn what you think, I snap. Yet my gaze burning into him. You're sitting at a table with my wife and my daughters. You don't get a say here. Alice finally finds her voice, but it's shaky. Look, I can explain. Explain? You brought our kids into this, Alice. How do you even begin to explain that? She doesn't answer, her eyes flicking between me and the man, searching for an escape, but there's no way out now. Alice sits there, her hands clenched into fists on the table, eyes darting between me and her lover, like she's calculating her next move. But no amount of calculation is going to save her. Not letting her slip out of this one. Can see her trying to find the right words, but not interested in hearing more lies. The guy, though, he's different. Looks nervous, but there's something smug beneath it. Like he isn't worried. Like he thinks he has some upper hand. Maybe he thinks he's better than me. Or maybe Alice filled his head with stories about how unhappy she was, whatever it is. Can see it in the way he stands there, shifting but still steady, as if he isn't the one who just got caught, with another man's wife and kids. Who the hell is he, Alice? I repeat. Louder this time, not even looking at her, staring him down, daring him to open his mouth again. Alice exhales sharply, then finally speaks. This is Thomas. He's a friend, Nathan. Let out a short laugh. More of a bark, really. A friend? Of course that's the best you could come up with. A friend? Is that what you're calling him now? You bring our daughters to lunch with your friend? You lie to me for months. Take them along? And you expect me to believe this is some casual thing? She shifts in her seat, her face hardening. This is it. The moment where truth has nowhere left to hide. But instead of apologizing, instead of showing an ounce of regret, she does the one thing I didn't expect. She doubles down. Nathan, stop being so dramatic. The girls love him, okay? He's been good to them. They're happy. I know this is a lot for you, but this isn't just about you anymore. It's not what you think. Those 4 words hit me harder than a punch to the gut. How dare she act like I'm overreacting, like I'm the crazy one, for not accepting this twisted situation she created. You've been bringing them to see him? I ask. Voice quieter now, dangerously so. She doesn't flinch. Yes, and they're fine with it. Honestly, they've been better than ever. You've been so wrapped up in your own world. You didn't even notice. That hits me like a freight train. She's turning it around on me now, making it seem like this is all somehow my fault. that I'd been neglecting my daughters, and that's why they'd accepted Thomas so easily, as if I'd been so blind, that I missed the fact she'd been pulling them into her affair, right under my nose. Can't take my eyes off her. This isn't the Alice I thought I knew. The person sitting across from me isn't just a cheater. She's a manipulator, double liar, someone who rewrote the story in her head to make herself the victim, or at least not the villain. Feel my blood boiling, but don't want to lose it in front of him. Not going to give Thomas the satisfaction of seeing me unravel. You think this is okay? I ask, locking eyes with her. You think this is something you can just sweep under the rug? Because you think the girls are fine with it? She crosses her arms, leans back, her posture defiant now. They're not just fine with it. They're happier, Nathan. Happier than they've been in a long time. They know we've had problems and, oh, don't even start with that. Problems don't justify dragging our kids into your mess, Alice. You're really going to sit there and act like this is some kind of solution? Thomas finally decides to open his mouth again, like he has something important to contribute. Look, man, I get that you're upset. Snap my head toward him. Shut up. You don't get it. You're sitting here pretending you're some kind of savior. You're nothing but a coward. Hiding behind my wife and kids, playing house with another man's family. His face twitches, but he doesn't say anything after that. He knows better. Alice is seething now, her eyes narrowing as she leans forward. You're not making this easier, Nathan. We haven't been happy for years. You know that. I've tried to talk to you. I've tried to make it work, but I just what, Alice? Worked? Took care of our daughters? Tried to keep this family together while you were out playing around with this guy? Her silence is all the answer I need. You could have left. You could have told me you were done. But no, you had to drag Sophie and Lucy into it. You had to take them along. Like they're part of this circus. You use them to cover your tracks. And now you're going to sit here and act like it's all because we had problems. The words hang in the air, heavy and tense. She doesn't have an answer for that. At least not one she's ready to admit. Stand up slowly, chair scraping loudly against the concrete patio. This isn't over, I say, looking down at her. You think this is just about us? No. You made this about them. You crossed a line, Alice, and there's no going back. Turn and walk away, leaving them both at the table, their little fantasy crumbling around them. Can hear Alice calling my name. But don't stop, can't, because the next steps aren't about saving our marriage. They're about protecting my daughters from the mess their mother pulled them into. And I know in that moment that the fight is only just beginning. Leave the restaurant with my mind racing. The image of Alice and that man sitting with my daughters, burning in my head. The reality of it was far worse than anything I could have imagined. Alice isn't just cheating. She has built some twisted double life. Worse, she has made Sophie and Lucy a part of it. The shock of it all still sinking in, but rage is bubbling beneath the surface, fierce and unrelenting. When I get home, I'm restless, pace the living room, thinking about my next move. There's no way I can just let this go, not after what I've seen. Alice has dragged the girls into this mess, and for that, she's going to pay. Not sure how, not yet, but there's no way I'm letting her walk away from this unscathed. I want revenge, but not the kind that would ruin me or hurt my daughters. No, have to be smart. If I'm gonna come out of this on top, have to play it right. Hours pass. Can't stop replaying the scene at the restaurant in my head. Alice laughing, touching him like I don't exist. The girls giggling with some stranger, completely unaware their world is about to fall apart. The betrayal feels like poison, coursing through my veins, and I can't sit with it any longer. When Alice and the girls finally come home, the tension in the air is thick. The girls run past me without a word, heading upstairs to their room, blissfully unaware of what had gone down between their parents. But Alice, she stands in the doorway, her expression a mix of frustration and guilt. Can see it in her eyes. She knows she can't keep lying anymore. Not after I caught her in the act. She shuts the door softly, walks into the living room, crossing her arms defensively. We need to talk, she says, her voice low, like she's the one holding all the cards. We'll stare at her for a long moment, not moving, not blinking. Talk? Now you want to talk? Yes, now. What happened today can't keep happening. This mess is tearing everything apart. Almost laugh at the absurdity of her words. This mess, the nerve she has to call it a mess, as if it was something minor, Something we could just sweep under the rug. This mess, I say slowly, is your fault, Alice. You made the decision to cheat. You made the decision to bring our daughters into it. Now you want to talk? Like we can fix this? You've lost your mind. She narrows her eyes. I wasn't happy, Nathan. For years I wasn't happy. You knew that, and you ignored it. You worked all the time, and when you were home, you were distant. You didn't even try to make things better. That's your excuse, I snap. Because we had rough patches. You thought it was okay to go behind my back and introduce another man to our kids? Her voice rises, defensive and bitter. I didn't want it to happen like this, okay? But you didn't leave me any choice. I needed someone. And the girls, they needed to see me happy. You're lying to yourself if you think they don't know something's wrong. Say it coldly. You've turned our kids into pawns in your game, Alice. And you're not even sorry. She opens her mouth to argue, but cut her off. What's worse is that they've been covering for you. They've been lying to me, Alice. They're kids, and you've made them lie to their own father. Her face twists, but she doesn't deny it. Of course she doesn't. She knows the girls have been in on it, maybe not knowingly, but she'd use them all the same. Can see the conflict in her eyes. She wants to win this argument, to justify what she's done, but deep down, she knows she's wrong. Still, that doesn't stop her from trying. You don't understand, she says, her voice shaking now. Thomas isn't just some fling. He's good for the girls. He's good for me. This isn't just about us anymore. They've bonded with him, and it's not fair to them to rip that away. Feel my whole body tense, fists clenching at my sides. You think I give a damn about what's fair to him? He's nobody to them, Alice. Nobody. You've poisoned their minds, made them think this is normal. They don't even know what's happening. And you've put them in the middle of your affair, like it's some family day out. She blinks, stunned into silence. For the first time, it seems like my words are cutting through her delusion. But that's only for a moment. Then she straightens up, her expression hardening again. So what now? She spits, her voice dripping with venom. You want a divorce? Fine. You want to destroy everything? Go ahead. But don't think for a second you'll get the girls. They're better off with me. You've been so wrapped up in your own world that you didn't even notice they've grown distant from you. You don't know them like I do. Step closer, feeling the weight of her words settle in my chest. She's threatening me. She's going to try to take my daughters from me, like she hadn't already done enough damage. Know then that this isn't just about her affair anymore. She's going to fight dirty, and if I don't act fast, she'll take the girls and twist them against me. I'm not letting you win this, Alice, I say quietly, my voice steady but filled with the promise of war. You've already lost everything, but you just don't know it yet. She glares at me, her jaw tight, but she doesn't respond. The tension hangs in the air between us, thick and suffocating, as if the entire house is holding its breath. Turn away. Walk toward the stairs. We'll talk about this tomorrow, I say, over my shoulder, not bothering to look back at her. I'm not letting you take them down with you. Not a chance. As I walk up the stairs, hear her let out a sharp breath, the sound of her frustration ringing in my ears. She thinks she's still in control. She thinks this is just another fight she can win. But she has no idea what's coming next. Not going to let her destroy our family, any more than she already has. She'd made the mistake of pulling our daughters into her mess. Now I'm going to make sure she pays for it, one way or another. That night I barely sleep. Every time I close my eyes, see Alice's smug face, Thomas's arrogant smirk, and my daughters caught in the middle, laughing along with a man who doesn't belong in their lives. The weight of it all is crushing, but beneath that pressure, something is growing inside me. A plan have to be smart. This isn't just about the affair anymore. Alice has made it clear. She's willing to play dirty, to turn the girls against me, to try and paint me as the distant, uninvolved father. Can't let her win. If I react out of anger, I'll be the one who looks irrational, and she'll have all the leverage. No, have to stay calm, keep my emotions in check, and hit her where it hurts the most. Her control over the situation. Next morning I wake up early, before Alice or the girls are even stirring. Go downstairs, brew a pot of coffee, my mind already running through everything I need to do. First, I have to gather evidence. No, Alice isn't careful. And I'm counting on that. The email reservations I'd found were just the tip of the iceberg. I'm sure there's more. Start with her phone. It's charging in the kitchen, left out like she doesn't expect me to go near it. Unlock it. She hasn't even bothered to change the passcode. Begin scrolling. Texts, emails, photos. It's all there. Every conversation with Thomas. Every sneaky plan to meet up. Every sweet, disgusting message about how much he loves our daughters. Take screenshots of everything. Send them to my own email. Delete the evidence of the transfer. There are even messages from the girls. Short, innocent texts about how much fun they had with Uncle Thomas. The fact that Alice let them think of him like that makes my stomach turn. She had woven him into their lives, like he was family, and I had no idea how long this had been going on. After I finish with her phone, go upstairs to my home office, start printing everything, every damning piece of proof I can find, building my case brick by brick. By the time I'm done, have a stack of papers that paint a pretty clear picture of what had been happening behind my back. But that isn't enough. Need leverage, something that would leave her no choice but to step back and let me take control. Alice doesn't just want Thomas. She wants the narrative. She wants to come out of this looking like the victim, the struggling wife who had to find happiness elsewhere because her husband was too busy, too distant, too distracted. Can already see how she's going to spin it. To the girls, to her friends, to the court, if it came to that. But I have the truth, and I'm not going to let her distort it. The next step is talking to a lawyer, not ready to file for divorce. Not yet, but need to know what my options are. Make the call later that day. Once Alice has taken the girls to school, find a lawyer who specializes in high-conflict divorces and custody battles. Her name is Victoria, and she doesn't waste any time sugarcoating things. Your wife has been using your daughters to build a bond with her lover, Victoria says bluntly after I lay out the situation. That's going to hurt you in court if you don't act fast. Judges tend to prioritize stability for the kids. If your daughters have gotten close to this man, and if your wife can prove that you've been distant, it's going to be an uphill battle. I'm not distant, I snap. She's been lying to them, manipulating them. I believe you, Victoria says calmly, but we need more than just belief. You've done the right thing by gathering evidence, but we need to be strategic. If you can prove that Alice's actions are harmful to the girls, that she's been actively deceiving them and using them to cover up her affair, you've got a chance to get custody. The word custody hits me like a ton of bricks. That's what this is coming down to. My daughters. It isn't just about proving Alice wrong. It's about making sure she doesn't take them away from me. Do you have proof that she's been taking them to see him without your knowledge? Victoria asks. I have texts, emails, reservations, photos, everything. Good, that's a start. But you need to get the girls on your side too. Don't confront them about it directly. Don't put them in the middle of your fight with Alice. But show them that you're there for them, that you're the stable parent. You need to rebuild that bond before she turns them completely against you. Thank her, set up a follow-up meeting, and hang up. Victoria's words stick with me. Don't put the girls in the middle. It's good advice, but harder than it sounds. Alice has already dragged them into her mess, and now I have to be the one to pull them back out. Later that evening, put my plan into action. Alice is out, probably with Thomas again, so I have the house to myself with Sophie and Lucy. Order pizza, watch movies, and for the first time in what feels like ages, I'm just there, not distracted, not thinking about work, or Alice, or anything else. Just present with my daughters. As we sit on the couch, Sophie leans her head on my shoulder. Dad, can we go to the aquarium tomorrow? Just the three of us? That question hits me harder than anything Alice had said. It's such a small thing, but it feels like a lifeline. Sophie doesn't want Thomas. She wants me. Lucy, sitting on the other side, nods eagerly. Yeah, just us. Like we used to, smile, fighting back the wave of emotion that threatens to choke me. Of course, just us. That night, I tuck them into bed, kiss them goodnight, stand in the hallway for a long time, thinking Alice might have gotten close to them with her lies, but I'm not going to let her rewrite our family story. I have a chance, and I'm going to take it. When Alice comes home, I'm waiting for her. She looks surprised to see me, sitting at the kitchen table, a glass of water in front of me. The stack of printed evidence hidden away. For now, she pauses in the doorway, her eyes narrowing slightly, trying to read me. Long night, I ask. Casually, she shrugs, just catching up with some friends. Right, naughty. Letting the lie hang in the air between us. Don't press her. Don't need to. Not yet. I think we need to have a real talk. Say it, my voice calm, controlled. About the girls. About where this is going. She sighs, walks over to the counter, pours herself a glass of wine. Nathan, we've been over this. I don't want to keep having the same argument. We won't, I reply, leaning back in my chair. Because next time we talk, it'll be with lawyers. This isn't going to end the way you think it is, Alice. She turns slowly, her eyes flashing with something between fear and defiance. What are you talking about? I'm talking about the fact that I know everything. Say it, my voice dropping lower. I know about you, about Thomas, and about what you've been doing with the girls. She freezes, her glass of wine halfway to her lips. I'm done playing your game, Alice. Continue. You've lied. You've cheated. And you've dragged our daughters into it. You think you're in control? You're not. Not anymore. Her hand trembles slightly as she sets the glass down. You wouldn't. Stand up, locking eyes with her. Try me. Her face twists into a mask of fury. But beneath it, I can see the cracks. She's not as confident as she'd been at the restaurant. She knows now that I'm not backing down. You have no idea what you're starting, Nathan. She hisses, her voice low and venomous. No, say it. Stepping closer, I know exactly what I'm finishing. The next morning feels different. There's a palpable tension in the air, the kind that crackles before a storm. Alice doesn't say a word to me when she wakes up. She moves around the kitchen with cold efficiency, pretending I'm not there. Her usual morning chatter with the girls is muted. Even Sophie and Lucy seem to sense something is wrong, not going to let her silence shake me. I've made my move, and now I'm waiting for her to react. She thinks she can manipulate this situation, like she's done so many times before. But this time I'm prepared. I'm already 2 steps ahead of her. As I watch the girls eat breakfast, their innocent smiles lighting up the room, feel the weight of what's coming next. Don't want to destroy their world. But Alice has left me no choice. If I don't fight back, she will keep pulling them deeper into her twisted web of lies. Can't allow that. Won't. When Alice drops the girls off at school, sit down at the dining room table. Call Victoria, my lawyer. Fill her in on what happened the night before. The threat I'd made and the coldness that had settled between us. Like a wall. Good, Victoria says, her voice sharp and focused. You need to stay strong. Don't let her intimidate you. And don't lose your temper. She's going to try to push you into a reaction that she can use against you in court. Keep everything documented, and don't give her any ammunition. Nod, even though she can't see me. What's the next step? You said you got solid evidence, emails, texts, proof that she's been taking the girls to see her lover. Without your knowledge, that's a strong starting point. We're going to file for temporary custody. If we can show the court that she's been putting the children in a compromising situation, you'll have a good chance of getting them out of her care. At least for now. My stomach tightens at the thought. Temporary custody. That means the girls would be with me full time, and Alice would be the one fighting to see them. Part of me wants that, needs that, because I can't stand the idea of her manipulating them any longer. But the other part of me, the part that still remembers the good years, feels the weight of what this would mean for them. It isn't just about me and Alice anymore. It never has been. Nathan, Victoria's voice pulls me back to reality. I know this is hard, but you need to be clear about what's at stake. If you don't act now, she'll keep using the girls. She's already set them up to view this man as some kind of father figure. The longer this goes on, the harder it will be to undo. Exhale slowly, feeling the gravity of her words sink in. She's right. Alice has already blurred the lines between our family and her affair. If I let her keep doing that, my daughters would be caught in a confusing, toxic situation that could warp their sense of reality. I can't let that happen. Have to be the stable parent. The one who pulls them back from the chaos Alice has created. After hanging up with Victoria, know the next step is going to be the hardest. Confronting Alice hadn't been enough. Now I need to involve the girls, but have to be careful. Victoria had warned me not to force them into the middle of the conflict, but I can't leave them in the dark either. They need to know the truth, or at least enough of it to understand why things are about to change. That evening, after Alice has gone to Pilates, a laughable lie at this point, sit Sophie and Lucy down in the living room. They look at me wide-eyed, sensing something serious in my tone. Hey, begin softly, trying to ease into it. I want to talk to you girls about something important. You know I love you, right? They both nod, their little faces full of trust, and that nearly breaks me. Have to protect that trust, even if it means shattering their world for a little while. Nathan, Victoria's voice pulls me back to reality. I know this is hard, but you need to be clear about what's at stake. If you don't act now, she'll keep using the girls. She's already set them up to view this man as some kind of father figure. The longer this goes on, the harder it will be to undo. Exhale slowly, feeling the gravity of her words sink in. She's right. Alice has already blurred the lines between our family and her affair. If I let her keep doing that, my daughters would be caught in a confusing, toxic situation that could warp their sense of reality. I can't let that happen. Have to be the stable parent, the one who pulls them back from the chaos Alice has created. After hanging up with Victoria, know the next step is going to be the hardest. Confronting Alice hadn't been enough. Now I need to involve the girls, but have to be careful. Victoria had warned me not to force them into the middle of the conflict, but I can't leave them in the dark either. They need to know the truth, or at least enough of it, to understand why things are about to change. That evening after Alice has gone to Pilates, a laughable lie at this point, sit Sophie and Lucy down in the living room. They look at me wide-eyed, sensing something serious in my tone. Hey, begin softly, trying to ease into it. I want to talk to you girls about something important. You know I love you, right? They both nod, their little faces full of trust, and that nearly breaks me. Have to protect that trust, even if it means shattering their world for a little while. Sophie's eyes soften. She nods slowly. Lucy, still too young to fully grasp it, just hugs her sister tighter. Can see the confusion and hurt swirling in Sophie's eyes. But she doesn't cry. She's too strong for that. Too much like me. Does this mean we won't see Mommy as much? Sophie finally asks, her voice breaking just a little. Hesitate. Don't want to lie to her, but also don't want to dump the full weight of what's coming next on her shoulders. Things might change for a while, but we'll figure it out, okay? No matter what happens, you're going to be with someone who loves you. Lucy's lip trembles. She whispers, "Are you going away, Daddy?" Her words cut through me like a knife. Shake my head, pulling her into my arms. No, sweetheart. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be right here with you. As I hug Lucy, Sophie leans in too. For a moment, we just sit there, me and my girls, huddled together in the living room. Don't know what the future holds, but know that I will fight for them, for their safety and peace of mind. When Alice comes home that night, can tell she feels the shift. The girls aren't as chatty with her, and I don't say a word. She glances at me, but I give her nothing. No anger, no frustration, just silence. The battle lines are drawn, and I'm ready for whatever comes next. The next morning, I meet Victoria at her office. We file the paperwork for temporary custody. The evidence is clear, and Victoria assures me that I have a strong case. But it would still be a fight. Alice isn't going to let this go easily. When I return home, Alice is waiting for me. She must have sensed something was coming, because she's pacing the living room, arms crossed, her face set in that defiant expression I know so well. "Where were you?" she asks, her voice sharp. Set my keys down on the table. Look her dead in the eye. "I was with my lawyer." Her face pales. "Your what?" "Don't blink." "I filed for custody, Alice. Temporary custody of the girls. I have all the evidence I need. You're not going to drag them through your mess any longer." Her mouth opens in shock, but she quickly recovers, her eyes narrowing into slits. "You wouldn't dare." "I already did." My voice is calm, deadly calm. "You've been using them. Lying to them, manipulating them. It stops now." She stares at me, fury flashing across her face. But I don't back down. This is it. The beginning of the end. "You can't win this, Nathan," she spits, her voice trembling with anger. "You don't know what you're getting into." Take a deep breath, standing my ground. I know exactly what I'm getting into, and I'm not going to stop until I get them out of your mess. For the first time in this whole ordeal, Alice looks scared. Real fear flickers in her eyes. She knows now. This isn't a game anymore. The battle for our daughters has just begun, and I'm in it to win. Alice stands there frozen, her eyes wide with shock and fury. She had always been the one who controlled the narrative, the one who spun stories and made excuses, bending the truth to fit her version of reality. But now I've taken that control from her. For the first time, she's on the defensive. "You filed for custody?" Her voice is low, venomous. You think you can just take them away from me? Don't flinch. You took them away from me. The moment you brought Thomas into their lives, the moment you made them lie for you, dragged them into your affair. You've been destroying our family for months, and I'm done letting you get away with it. Her face twists in anger, but I can see the fear lurking behind her eyes. She knows I have her cornered, but Alice isn't the type to back down easily. No, she's going to fight dirty. She always does. You really think a court is going to side with you? She sneers, stepping closer. You've been a distant father, Nathan. You work all the time. You're hardly ever around. I've been the one raising them, taking care of them, keeping this family together, and now you're going to act like the hero? Clench my fists, the anger surging through me. Want to yell, to throw everything she's done in her face, but can't afford to lose control. Not now. Have to stay calm, stay focused, and hit her where it hurts the most, with the truth. You haven't been raising them, Alice. Say it coldly. You've been using them. You brought a stranger into their lives, someone they shouldn't even know, and you let him act like he's part of this family. You made them lie for you, and that's not just wrong. It's cruel. She flinches, just barely, but I see it. I'm getting through to her. I've got proof, continuous, with my voice steady. Every text, every email, every photo, the court's going to see everything. And they're going to know that you've been putting our daughters in the middle of your affair. You've been playing house with another man. While pretending nothing was wrong, that's not the behavior of a fit mother. Her lips tremble, but she quickly recovers, her eyes narrowing again. You think you're going to win because you have some texts? You think that's enough? She shakes her head, her voice laced with disdain. Nathan, you don't know how this works. I've been their primary caregiver. They need me. They need stability, I correct. And they're not getting that from you. Not when you're dragging them into your lies. Alice's eyes flash with rage. She takes a step closer, her voice low and dangerous. You're going to regret this. You're going to lose, and when you do, I'm going to make sure you never see them again. There it was, the real Alice, the woman who would do anything to win, who saw this as a battle of wills, not a fight for our daughter's well-being. But I'm not afraid of her anymore, not after everything she's done. You're underestimating me. Say it, holding her gaze. I'm not the man you can push around anymore. You've already lost. You just don't see it yet. She glares at me, her chest rising and falling with barely controlled anger. This isn't over, she hisses, then storms out of the room, leaving me standing there, the weight of our conversation settling over me, like a heavy cloud. But I'm not shaken, not scared. Had expected this. The threats, the anger, the attempt to twist everything around on me. But I know the truth, and soon so would everyone else. The next few days are a whirlwind of preparation. Work closely with Victoria, gathering every piece of evidence I have. Alice had underestimated me, assuming I wouldn't be ready for this kind of fight. But I am ready, and I have more than just the texts and emails. I have my daughter's trust. Spend every moment I can with Sophie and Lucy, making sure they know I'm there for them, that I'm not going anywhere. They're still confused, still trying to make sense of everything, but they're resilient, can see it in the way they look at me. Especially Sophie. She knows something is wrong, but she also knows that I'm not going to leave them. One evening, Sophie comes into my office, her small face serious, as she stands in the doorway. Dad, she says quietly, are you and Mommy going to stop fighting? Sigh, setting aside the paperwork I'd been reviewing. Come here, sweetheart. Say it, patting the chair next to me. She walks over and sits down, her legs swinging slightly, her eyes full of questions. Things are going to be different. Say it gently, trying to explain it in a way she could understand. But it's not because of you. You and Lucy are the most important thing in the world to me. And no matter what happens between me and Mommy, that's never going to change. Sophie looks down, her hands twisting in her lap. Is it because of Uncle Thomas? My heart drops, not sure how much she knows, or how much Alice had told her, but hearing his name from my daughter's mouth is like a punch to the gut. Uncle Thomas? He's part of why Mommy and I aren't getting along. Say it carefully. But what you need to know is that this is between the grown-ups. You and Lucy shouldn't have to worry about that. You just need to know that I love you, and I'm going to do everything I can. To make sure you're okay, she nods slowly, but I can see the uncertainty in her eyes. She isn't a little kid anymore. She understands more than I want her to. Dad, she says after a long pause, I don't want things to be different. I just want us to be together. Her words break my heart, pull her into a hug, feeling the weight of everything we'd lost, everything that had been taken from us, because of Alice's betrayal. I know, sweetie, whisper, my voice thick with emotion. I know. When I tuck the girls into bed that night, feel a renewed sense of determination. I'm not just fighting for custody. I'm fighting to keep my family intact, to protect Sophie and Lucy from the fallout of Alice's selfishness. A few days later, the papers are officially served. Alice isn't expecting it to happen so quickly. When she sees the envelope on the kitchen counter, her face goes pale. She glances at me, her eyes filled with cold fury. You think you're so smart? She mutters, ripping open the envelope. You think you can just take them from me? I'm doing what's best for them. Say it simply, watching as she skims the documents, her face twisting with anger as she realizes what it means. The custody hearing is set, the evidence is laid out, there's no escaping it now. You're going to regret this, she says through clenched teeth, her voice shaking with rage. I swear, Nathan, you're going to regret this. Meet her gaze, unflinching. No, Alice. You are... She throws the papers down on the counter, storms out of the room, slamming the door behind her. But this time I'm not rattled. The storm is here, but I'm ready. The hearing is set for the following week, and I know it isn't going to be easy. Alice is going to fight, and she's going to fight dirty. But I have something she doesn't. A clear conscience. I'm not the one who lied, cheated, and dragged our daughters into the mess. I'm ready to face her, ready to protect my girls from the chaos she created. No matter what Alice tries to throw at me, I'm not going to back down. Not now. Not ever. The battle for my daughters is just beginning. But this time, I'm not playing by Alice's rules. The morning of the custody hearing arrives, and the tension in the house is thick, almost suffocating. Alice and I haven't spoken much since the papers had been served. Every interaction has been clipped. Cold, the girls sense the distance between us, but I try to keep things as normal as possible. For them, even though nothing about our situation is normal anymore, wake up early, get dressed in my best suit, stand in front of the mirror for longer than I need to. I'm not nervous. No, it's something else. A mixture of exhaustion, anticipation, and the weight of knowing that this day is going to change everything. Look at my reflection, at the man I had become through all of this. Had always thought of myself as calm, rational, but now I was someone with a fire burning inside, ready to fight for my daughters, to protect them from the chaos Alice had created, about to head downstairs. When I hear a knock on the door, it's Sophie. She's standing there in her pajamas, looking up at me with those big curious eyes. Where are you going, Dad? Smile, kneeling down to her level. I've got a meeting today, sweetheart, but I'll be back soon, okay? She furrows her brow, the gears turning in her head. Is it about the thing with Mommy? Pause, my heart heavy. Yeah, it is. She looks down at her feet, quiet for a moment, then asks softly, Are we going to be okay? Pull her into a hug, holding her tight. Of course we are. Whisper, no matter what happens, I'm going to make sure you and Lucy are okay. She doesn't say anything else, but she hugs me back. And in that moment, feel more determined than ever. The drive to the courthouse is a blur. Victoria had prepped me for everything. What to expect, what to say, how to handle Alice's inevitable attacks. But nothing could fully prepare me for walking into that courtroom, knowing that the future of my family was hanging in the balance. Alice is already there when I arrive, sitting with her lawyer. She doesn't look at me, but I can feel the tension radiating off her. She's dressed impeccably, her face a mask of calm, but I know her too well. Beneath that exterior, she's furious. She's going to fight me tooth and nail, and she would do whatever it took to win. But I'm not backing down. Not today. We sit on opposite sides of the courtroom, waiting for the judge to arrive. Keep my eyes forward, refusing to look at her. The air feels thick with unspoken accusations. Can feel Alice's eyes burning into me, trying to rattle me, but won't give her the satisfaction. When the judge finally enters, the room falls silent. He's an older man, with a stern expression. That makes it clear. This isn't going to be easy. He looks at us both, his gaze piercing, as if he could see straight through the layers of deceit and pain that had built up between us. Alice's lawyer starts first, painting her as the devoted mother, who had been the primary caregiver, the one who had held the family together, while I had been too busy with work. It's the narrative I expected. They play up her role as the ever-present parent, the one who had always been there for the girls, while subtly casting me as the distant father, too wrapped up in my career to notice what was happening at home, sit there stone-faced, listening as they twist the truth, making it sound like I had been absent. Neglectful, Alice plays her part perfectly, tears in her eyes, her voice trembling just enough to seem vulnerable. It's a performance, but a damn good one. Can see the judge listening carefully, and I know we're in for a fight when it's my turn. Victoria is brilliant. She lays out every piece of evidence we have. The texts, the emails, the proof that Alice had been taking the girls to see Thomas without my knowledge. She doesn't hold back. Every ugly truth about Alice's affair is laid bare for the court to see. And then she makes the most important point of all. Alice had involved the girls in her deception. She had exposed them to a relationship they didn't understand, made them complicit in her lies, and used them as pawns in her affair. As Victoria speaks, glance over at Alice for the first time. See her mask slip. Her face tightens, her hands gripping the edge of the table. She knows what's coming, and she knows it isn't good. When I take the stand, I'm calm, clear, talk about my love for Sophie and Lucy, about how I had been blindsided by Alice's affair, and how it had shattered our family. But make it clear, this isn't just about her cheating. It's about the impact it had on our daughters. They had been caught in the middle of something they didn't understand, something that had the potential to damage them in ways they couldn't even grasp yet. I don't want to take them away from their mother. Say it, my voice steady. But I want to protect them. They deserve stability. They deserve honesty. And right now, they're not getting that from Alice. The room is silent when I finish. The judge leans back in his chair, considering everything he had heard. Can't read his expression, but hoped that our case had been strong enough, that the truth was enough to tip the scales in my favor. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, the judge speaks. This is a difficult case, he says, his voice measured. But my primary concern is the well-being of the children. It's clear that there have been mistakes made by both parents. However, the evidence presented shows a pattern of behavior by the mother that raises concerns about her judgment regarding the involvement of the children. In her extramarital relationship, my heart pounds in my chest. As the judge continues, in light of this, I am granting temporary custody to the father with supervised visitation for the mother. Alice gasps audibly, her hand flying to her mouth. Can feel her shock and fury from across the room. But don't look at her. Can't. The weight of what has just happened is too much. I had won, but it doesn't feel like a victory. Not really. Feels like survival. The judge finalizes the details. And just like that, it's over. Alice storms out of the courtroom before I can even process what had happened. Her lawyer trailing behind her, trying to calm her down. But I don't follow. Can't. My mind is spinning. The reality of what this means, slowly sinking in. I have custody of Sophie and Lucy. They're mine, safe from the chaos Alice had dragged them into. But the fight isn't over. This is only temporary. And I know Alice won't stop. She'll come back harder, angrier, more determined to win. But for now, I have what matters most. My daughters, as I walk out of the courthouse. The weight of the battle lifted, replaced by a deep, unwavering resolve. I'm not going to let Alice manipulate them again. I'm not going to let her tear our family apart, any more than she already has. Pick the girls up from school that afternoon. They have no idea what had happened, no idea how close they had come to being torn between two worlds. But as they run toward me, their faces lighting up with smiles, know I had done the right thing. Kneel down, wrapping them both in a hug, holding them close, feeling the warmth of their trust. We're going to be okay. It isn't going to be easy, and the road ahead is still full of challenges. But we're together, and that's enough. As we drive home, Lucy chatters happily in the back seat, while Sophie quietly watches the world pass by through the window. Glance at her in the rearview mirror, catching her eye for a moment. She smiles, a small knowing smile. It's the kind of smile that tells me she understands more than I realize. And for the first time, in what feels like forever, as I smile back, knowing that whatever happens next, we're ready for it. We had survived the storm, and now it's time to rebuild.